We're now beginning the December 24th PM turn, and the first thing we do is we check mutual supply. And like we were talking about earlier, these units here of the 4th Armored Division are back in supply now. They can trace supply from here and back down the road, of course. The next thing we do is technically German reserves, but there are not going to be any of those. So the next thing we do is Allied interdiction. And there's going to be some interdiction over here. So the Allies get 7 air factors this turn. I'm going to use 2 of them. One to interdict this hex right here, and one to interdict this hex right here. Now I want to read the interdiction rule on trees to you. Okay, mechanized units in interdicted road hexes, forest road hexes. Mechanized German units may enter an interdicted forest road hex by paying 1 full movement point and stopping. If a mechanized unit wishes to enter the interdicted hex at the road movement rate and stop, or continue moving at the road movement rate, it must challenge the interdiction. The reason I'm informing you this is we're going to challenge the interdiction down here. We have to. It's the only way that the Germans can probably win the game. So how that works is German mechanized units may challenge the interdiction by entering the interdicted hex at the road movement rate. Roll the die after the challenging unit entered the interdicted hex. On a roll of 1 or 2, the unit takes a step loss and must stop in the interdicted hex. On a die roll of 3 or 4, the unit must stop in the interdicted hex. On a die roll of 5 or 6, the unit may continue moving at the road movement rate. If a failed challenge results in a violation of the stacking limit at the end of the movement phase, overstacking units that challenge the interdiction must be eliminated. So basically, the Germans are going to try to run the gauntlet of American air and British air, and the most important thing I think is getting him over to here, but also getting Piper down and into the action. So we'll do Piper first. So Piper's going to go quarter, half, 3/4 to right there, and he's going to challenge the interdiction. So let's see what he gets. He rolled a 3. Which is, on a die roll of 3, the unit must stop in the interdicted hex. So he doesn't get bombed, but he can't go any further. Well, now we'll try it over here. So he's going to go quarter. See what he gets. Uh-oh, he rolled a 1. On a roll of 1 or 2, the unit takes a step loss and must stop in the interdicted hex. So that did not work for the Germans. He has to take a step loss. Okay. The reason I did that first was this. I've decided that if the Germans cannot get across the Meuse to support the 116th Panzer this turn, then we're going to have to fall back to Marseille and defend it. Remember, the only way the Germans can get a draw is if they control Marseille, Bastogne, and Saint-Vith, or control 2 of those cities and be within 1 hex of the Meuse. Well, we're not going to be within 1 hex of the Meuse. That's not going to happen. So we got to protect Marseille, Bastogne, and Saint-Vith. Saint-Vith is not at risk. Bastogne is being well defended by Panzer Lehr and other German units. Marseille is the problem. The Americans have powerful units, and they might try to make a run at Marseille and take it away from the Germans. So this is what's going to happen. He's going to fall on his sword. He's going to stay right there. Slow down the 3rd Armored Division. This infantry regiment here is going to shoot that way. I'm going to try somehow to get out of here. So I'll have this guy travel down the road, and we're going to try. See, remember this hex is interdicted, so I guess we could all drive into that hex and stack on it and stop there. I don't know. See, we can either try and fight our way out through the 75th here, or we can try and go back. This kind of doesn't matter because the Americans are going to keep interdicting these forest hexes and stopping us at every turn. So these units are kind of stuck right now. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to move up here and attack and try and force 75th and go around. So we'll try and force them to retreat and then go the long way to get back to our lines. Okay, up here the 26 is going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 to right there. He's going to start scooting back towards Marche. The Nebelwerfers, they're kind of useless right now, but they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can at least be roadblocks. I'm going to bring a regiment of the 12th SS down to here. And put a regiment of the 12th SS right here. See, Marche is back here. So if we can create a defensive line in front of it, there's not a lot of turns left. Including this turn, there are 5 turns left. So I think we can make it difficult for the Americans and the British to bust through to Marche. We can at least play for the draw at this point. Let me see. Oh, and I have units to bring in. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. This is the German turn. Duh. Let me see what I'm going to have these units do down here. I think we're going to attack right here with Piper. Have to move him. Yeah, we'll attack right here with Piper. Using these 2 artilleries. I'm sorry, I keep saying Piper with Panzerlehr. Try and knock them out. Probably won't, but we'll try. And down here I have the 9th Panzer. I'm going to have them move to Bastogne, or in that direction. And they can get to Bastogne. So there they are. Okay. Up in the northern part of the map, we're in a pretty decent position. I think we're just going to hold until the Americans come across the Meuse. Remember, the Americans repaired all their bridges last turn. So we're just going to hold our line and wait for the Americans to come. Okay, so we have 2 attacks. We have an attack down here. The Americans are going to have 5, 10, 15, 22, 29 factors. The Germans are going to have 4, 8, 9, 16, 21, 29, 37, 47. So it's going to be, what? It's going to be a 1-to-1. What did I say? 15, 22. Yeah, it's going to be a 1-to-1. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. They're out of supply. So he's down to 4 and he's down to 4. So that's 8 factors, 13, 20, 27. And the Germans have 4, 9, 16, 21, 29, 37, 47. Still not enough for a 2-to-1. So it's going to be a 1-to-1. Now let me look at the combat results table. Actually, it's going to be a 1-to-2. Minus 2. 1-to-2 minus 2. Actually, on a 1-to-2, I can't get him. I'll probably end up retreating. So I'm not going to make that attack. That was kind of a waste. I should have moved layer. Oh well. Okay, over here. Americans have 4 factors. 6, 11, 16. So it's going to be a 4-to-1. The Germans will use a plane, making it a 5-to-1. The Americans will use a plane, taking it back to a 4-to-1. The trees take it to a 3-to-1, and it will be -1 for endurance rating. So 3-to-1, -1. Roll the 1, which is a D4 result. Kind of what we wanted. Okay, so we're going to chase him. You're probably wondering why I don't simply run off the board. Well, remember, I need 6 mechanized units to leave the map across the Meuse. Less than that does not satisfy any victory conditions, so it would be a waste to have them simply run off the board. So I'm just going to have them follow him and try and fight their way back to their lines. He'll go to there. Okay. Okay, so that's it for the British turn, or the German turn, I mean to say. Now we're on to the Allies. The Allies get no reinforcements this turn, but remember they had these units down here that neglected to enter the map last turn. So we're going to bring them in now. And they're going to come in up here near Bastogne. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go one's going to come in here and go to there. The 2 artilleries are both going to come in here. And 2 of them are going to come in here and go to there. That'll get those other 2 regiments back in supply. Okay. I think I'm just gonna. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have this regiment come up and reinforce me. I'm not so worried about someone crossing the Meuse right there anymore. So he'll come up and reinforce. I'm going to have the 2nd Armored cross the river and go to there and attack the guards here. Have the artillery follow me. So he's got 6 in there. 10, 20, 26, 32, 37, 42. would be a 7-to-1 down to a 6-to-1 plus 1. Yeah. Okay. This last artillery is going to come over here. You're going to drive back over here and help out with this attack on 2nd SS. He'll come down the road and help out. So that's going to be a 6-to-1. Okay. I don't want them to help out with this attack here because remember the inter-allied cooperation, I take a negative shift, so I could come down here and attack these Nebelwerfers. Go quarter, half, 3/4, 2 3/4 and attack them. Nebelwerfers have a defense of 1 when being attacked. So that would be a 4-to-1 -1. I could throw a plane in. Yeah, I'm going to go do that. Oh, I'm doing something wrong here. Let me show you. Let me move these guys down. So I'll attack these Nebelwerfers here. The armor cannot attack from this wood hex to that wood hex. Well, he can, but he can't advance. And I want him to be able to advance. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave the 2 armored there and move the mechanized infantry around and do it like that. That way these guys can advance. Okay. Okay, I think that's everything for down here. We'll just hold put at Dinant for right now. The Germans are obviously a bit on the retreat anyways. So we'll just hold right there and wait for more troops to show up. So moving up here, I have these 2 British units. Have them come out to here. The artillery come out too. Might as well bring Harks with them. Okay. So we're going to come down here and we're going to attack these regiments right here. They're in the open. So let's see how much of an attack we can get on them. So these 2 regiments can go 1, 2, 3, 4 for 1 movement, 2, 3 to right there. These can go to there. Have the artillery come down to here. Probably can't see anything I'm doing up here, but we're going to come down here and attack right here. Cross the Meuse. Okay. Okay. So now we've got a bunch of attacks going on right here. There on the, down here on the, these 3 regiments. Attack down here. Okay, the Americans have 4 aircraft left. They are going to use an aircraft on all of them. So we'll use an aircraft here, 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 and up here. The Germans have 1 aircraft left. I think I'm actually going to use it here and try and save this regiment. The only reason I don't want to use it here, this guy's doomed, I think. There's no way he's going to be able to get out of there with all that Allied air power interdiction. He's got the 2nd Armored Division chasing him, all that artillery. So he's doomed. This guy, I get him out of this fight, I can get him back across the river, and he has a fighting chance. So I'm going to use the air there. Okay. So here, the Germans have 6 factors. The Americans have 10, 20, 26, 32, 37, 42. So that is a 7-to-1. The terrain, oh, you know what? I didn't even need a plane here. I was at 7-to-1 already. The terrain takes it back to 6-to-1. And it will be a +1. So 6-to-1 +1. Roll the 4, which becomes a 5, which is a D3 result. Let me get rid of that. Which dooms him. You see, he has to retreat along the path of a road. He cannot enter trees. So his only retreat path is back to here and to that enemy's zone of control. So he is eliminated. So that's him. I'm going to take off this air marker and I'll advance with these guys. I should have used it over here. Oh well. I have 8. They have 2. That's a 4-to-1. Down to a 3-to-1 for the trees. 3-to-1 -1 for endurance rating. Roll the 5, which becomes a 4, which is a counterattack result. I should have used the plane right there. That was an oversight. Okay, up here, Germans have 6 factors. These planes wash each other out, so I'm just going to remove them. Americans have 9, 18, 24, 27, 32. So it's going to be 5-to-1. And there's a shift on this because I have infantry, armor, and artillery hitting him in a clear hex. So it becomes a 6-to-1, with no ER bonus. So a straight up 6-1. Rolled a 4, which is a D4 result. So he is saved. I can get him out of there, hopefully. He'll go to there. Third armored will just chase him. Yeah. Yeah. Just chase him. I'm stuck. I want to leave one unit behind. So one's going 1, 2, 3, 4. It's right there. And the other 2 will come to here. Okay. Here in the middle. Oh, I was under, the Germans were under a counterattack result last turn, and I forgot to counterattack. I need to write that. Sorry. So when you attack out of supply, you're halved rounded up. So he's rounded to 4, halved rounded to, he's halved to 4.5, rounded to 5, and he's halved to 2.5, rounded to 3. So that's 8 factors against 11 factors. So that's a 1 to 2, -1 for endurance rating, or +1. So 1 to 2 +1. A 6 result, that kills him. That's actually an attacker eliminated result. I should have done that last turn and freed those guys up, but I forgot, my bad. So I can get rid of these markers. Okay. So up here, the Germans have some artillery to pour into this one. They have artillery down here. You can't see them, but they do. 11, 14, 18, 22. So the Germans have 22 factors. The Americans have 5, 10, 13, 18, 25, 32, 36, 40, 44, 50, 55, 60. So 60 to 22 is a 2-1. But I have combined arms, so that shifts it to a 3-1. I have an airplane, that shifts it to a 4-1. And I believe, yes, I get endurance rating, so I get a -1. So it's going to be 4-1, -1. Rolled a 6, which becomes a 5. Which is a D1 result, which eliminates them. So they're eliminated. I don't know if you're keeping track, but the Germans have lost 6 regiments this turn. It was a D1 result, so there's not much of an advance here, but I'll advance the armor in. Okay, so up here, the Germans have 4, 6. They're also in trees, so they get a shift for that. I have 5, 7, 13, 18, 24, 32. So 32 to 6 is a 5-1. I get the ER bonus, so that's a -1. And my plane washes out the tree shift. So it's going to be a straight up 5-1 -1. Roll the 6 again, which becomes a 5, which is a D2 result. Not the worst thing that could happen to the Germans. So they will retreat to there. And I think I'll have these 3 regiments follow them. Yeah. Let me get rid of that plane. Okay. Oh, so the pendulum has started to swing back. Let me zoom you out a little bit here. Okay, so Marche is right here. And right now, we have 3rd Armored Division down here coming in from the south. And we have all of this coming in from the north. Not good. The Germans are going to have to pull back even further, restrict their lines even more. If the Germans cannot hold on to Marche, they lose the game. They're playing for a draw right now. So that's what is coming in the December 25th AM turn. Let me see. Any bridge blowing? No bridge blowing or anything like that this turn. So, okay, I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.